Welcome to the 2012 Northern Michigan Football Preview. The Wildcats begin a new era this season with Chris Ostrowsky, who was named the 21st head coach of the Wildcats back in November. Today I'm joined by Coach Ostrowsky. Welcome to the Wildcats, and what does it mean to you to be a head coach here?
Thanks for having me. This is an awesome deal here. It's a lifelong work, if you will, to get here. It's been an amazing 8 months just in our preparation in terms of putting together a staff, signing a great recruiting class, having what I think was an extraordinary spring football, really just trying to create a culture, trying to establish really what we want in terms of an overall culture, in terms of an atmosphere that's indicative of winning football games, graduating kids, and doing things the right way.
I know you worked hard finding the staff that you wanted. You got all these guys in before spring ball, and just tell me a little bit about your assistants that you brought.
Yeah, it's a great process. The first thing we always talk about is we were able to retain two really good young coaches, Joe Ballard and Rob Boss, and both did a great job in different aspects of their careers. Rob was a great player here in Northern. He represents being an alumni. He went on to play pro football. He's as smart as any football coach I've ever been around. Joe was a two-time All-American at Grand Valley. So we were able to retain both those guys. And he was also a captain on those teams and also the national championship. So he understands the GLIAC, understands how to be great in the GLIAC. And then we went out and actively, in my estimate, worked as hard as we could to find some really great coaches that had the energy and the passion that we were looking for, that kind of mirrored my philosophy on football and on life. Guys that I felt real comfortable with. We hired a defensive coordinator, Brian Newberry, who played in the Big 12, the old Big 12 at Baylor, where he was a strong safety. And then Brian and I coached together at Washington Lee about 10 years ago. So we go way back. He's someone that I admire, respect. I love him. I think he's smart, articulate, passionate. We went out and hired Marcus Knight to coach our receivers and really coordinate our recruiting effort. Marcus is humble and as class of a guy I've ever been around, that it has accomplished as much as he has. He played on the national championship Michigan team in '98, played for the AFC Championship Raiders, played for the Buccaneers the year after, did some time in the Arena League, coached at Valparaiso State, so he has. And then we hired Joe Caniglio, just a sharp, aggressive, young football coach who was a graduate assistant at Kent State. He was a national champion, national strength All-American, if you will, at Miami of Ohio. He was an All-MAC player there, an All-Academic player there. Went on to coach at Kent State, so we were able to fortunate to get Joe, and he'll be our strength coach, D-line coach. And then our restricted coaches are Matt Forward, who was the team MVP the year before, who will keep on as a quasi-graduate assistant. Nate Linsmeyer, who will be on the other side of the ball, who's the right guard here at Northern. And then Brian Mitz, who also was retained from the original staff, who coached running backs for us when I became the offensive coordinator. Brian comes from a legacy, if you will. His dad's a head coach in Illinois, a legendary high school coach in Illinois. So I think all in all, it's a phenomenal staff. Our staff meetings are just off the charts. We're doing all the things that I think, when you set out in this business, you kind of create a do book and a don't book, if you will. And I've had some Division I experience, I've been some other places, and I had a list of things that I really felt strong about how I wanted to run a program. And then a list of things that I've either experienced or watched that said, hey, I never want to do those things. And we have really stayed the course. I think we followed the plan. And, like I talked earlier, it's all about our culture. We're changing the culture here. There's not a player that'll come up here and play it differently. Will that equate to wins right away? I hope so. But it's going to equate to energy and passion and accomplishment.
Turning to the offensive side of the ball, you're leading the Wildcats into a third year of this spread offense.
Yeah.
With the graduation of Carter Kopak, you got to battle for the starting position. So, how do you feel about your two head guys heading into camp here?
Yeah, our quarterback situation is a little unique, and we have 4 quarterbacks that I think are all very competent, qualified guys, but are all guys with no experience. Brian Morley is a redshirt freshman. I can think of him snap college football quarterback. Coach Hispaniak, who is a still a little bit cloudy whether he's a redshirt junior or senior. He's never taken a snap of college football outside of junior college. And then we have two freshmen, a kid named Chris Nelson, who originally signed at Eastern Kentucky, who signed with us on signing day. And then a kid named Jay Talberson, who was 24-0 as a high school senior and was the Wisconsin Player of the Year. So we have 4 great ones. Ryan had a great spring. He brings a tremendous amount of know-how to the position. Played at Grand Blanc in the spread offense. Was the 5th most prolific passer in the history of Michigan high school football. A 4-year starter there. Very fluid. Coach brings a more of a physical nature to the position. And then the 2 young guys, are just so talented as high school players. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. We're not going to sit on the quarterback position for long. We'll declare a quarterback early. We'll make sure that guy gets our reps with the ones. We'll go.
You got a veteran backfield, John Kelly coming back. Prince Young, who led your team last year, and obviously a group of younger freshmen coming in.
Yeah. The running back situation is awesome. I think when you create championship offense, you got to create symmetry up front, where you're dominant within your offensive line, and then you got to be able to run the football. And I think we have 4 dynamic running backs in Prince Young and Johnny Curatelli, who will be seniors, and then young men at Groves High School, Deion Kyler, who is all that you want your guy to be on every level: academics, football, work ethic, just a great kid to be around. And then a kid from West Orange, New Jersey, named Lance Smith, who is a tremendous talent in his own right. I think those 4 guys bring a ton of talent.
And again, with the wide receivers, you have another good, solid veteran crew with Marvel King, Gaines, and Christian Jesse.
Yeah.
Marvel King and Gaines are big targets for your quarterback, and Jesse's a quick, fast guy for your spread offense.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Jesse is, he'll be a junior for us. The best thing about our receiving corps is when I came in 4 years ago, which is really 2 years ago, they all were young. They're all freshmen, so we kind of have taken our lumps with younger groups learning this thing here. I think Christian Jesse is really got an opportunity to be one of the better players in the league. Marvel King has an opportunity to be as strong a contributor in this program as anyone. And then Julian Gaines really is his potential is over the top. 6'6" again. Who can run, catch, does it all. He's really
Now we're talking about your offensive line. You got Al Guliak, Chase Daniels coming back, and some big guys, James Bester and Chad Anderson, with a lot of experience.
Yeah. Up front, I think we're finally in a position where we can play football with Jason is as good as any lineman in the league. He'll be our left tackle. We made an interesting move where we took James Bester, who was our right tackle, at 6'1", 330, and moved him to left guard. And I think that'll really give him the leverage, that help inside and outside, if you will. Our center's Pat Felberg, he returns. Our right guard will be a battle between 3 kids that we really feel good about. In Brad Kotz from Wisconsin, Kenny Kalish from Illinois. Those 2 really will be battling, and then Kyle Stoop from Wisconsin as well. And then our right tackle will be Chad Anderson, who's the little brother of Zach Anderson.
Inside the ball, you got a new coach coming in.
Yep.
You got a lot of experience with him. He's got a lot of Division I experience. What's his philosophy?
Yeah, his philosophy will be the exact philosophy we have. We're going to be ultra aggressive. We're going to play with great passion, great energy. We're going to be very multiple in our schemes. We're not going to be a cookie cutter, if you will. We're going to show a multiple of different looks.
And you got some very veteran guys coming back, and Zach Anderson, who you touched on, one of the better players in the country, and your linebacking core, Eddie Knobloch, Wyatt Jerison.
Yeah. It's an interesting group on defense. All 11 guys that graduated last year at a different time, especially late-year receivers. With the exception of Zach. So you're looking at a group that's young, but at the same time, they're very experienced players. Eddie was an all-conference player the year before for the Surf. Just having him part of the system just brings so much comfort as a head coach. I love his style. I love his toughness. I love the way he approaches every single day. Zach Anderson is as good as any player, without question. And then, we've got some other kids up front. A kid named James White from Boston. Jordan Dineron, who's from New Jersey, from Atlanta. This kid who's very well be a very good, solid player for us. So up front, it's going to be an interesting dynamic with some different guys moving around. And And then our linebacking core, in the end, Lockley becomes a senior. Josh Strozzi, who was hurt last year as well, becomes a senior, who was a very solid player for us in the past. Morgan Stentz, who plays with unbelievable, over-the-top energy, who I think can really evolve to a real good player here. You mentioned Wyatt Jersey, his dad's an all-time great. So, I think it's a really quality group. It's got some depth, so I'm excited to see those guys run around.
Well, I'd like to thank Coach Ostrowsky for talking Wildcat football, and this concludes our 2012 Northern Michigan season preview. Thank you.